Imagine standing face to face with a creature twice your size, armed with claws that could tear through your flesh like paper, teeth designed to crush bone, and muscles that could snap your neck with a single swipe. You have no fur to protect you from the cold, no natural weapons, no venom, no armor. You're slower, weaker, and completely outmatched. By every measure of physical power, you should be prey. You should be extinct. Yet somehow you're the one who survived. You're the one who conquered the planet. How? The answer to this question is so simple, so obvious, yet so profound that it changes everything we understand about human evolution. There was one skill, one ability that our ancestors possessed that no other species could match. It wasn't strength, it wasn't speed, it wasn't even intelligence in the way we normally think about it. This single skill allowed a weak, vulnerable primate to outlive saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, cave bears, and giant ground sloths. It allowed humans to spread across every continent on Earth, from frozen Arctic tundra to scorching deserts. It turned us from frightened prey animals hiding in trees into the most dominant species this planet has ever seen. Today, we're going to explore the secret weapon of humanity, the skill that changed everything, the reason you're alive right now while countless, stronger, fiercer, more physically impressive species are nothing but fossils in the ground. And fair warning, once you understand what this skill is and how it works, you'll never look at human history or yourself the same way again. The world of our ancestors. Let's travel back in time, way back, about 2 million years ago, to the African savanna where our ancestors were barely clinging to survival. Picture this scene. The sun is setting over endless grasslands. In the distance, a group of early humans, not quite Homo sapiens yet, but our direct ancestors, are huddled together. They're small, standing maybe 5 feet tall. Their bodies are thin, their skin exposed to the elements. They have no claws, no fangs, no thick hide to protect them. Around them, the African landscape is crawling with death. In the tall grass, a pride of lions, much larger than modern lions, is stalking prey. Near a waterhole, a pack of hyenas, bigger and more aggressive than today's species, fights over a carcass. In the trees, leopards with powerful jaws wait to ambush anything that passes below. And these are just the predators our ancestors could see. There were others, more terrifying. Saber-toothed cats with canine teeth longer than human hands. Giant, short-faced bears that could run faster than horses. Dire wolves hunting in coordinated packs. Every single one of these creatures could kill a human in seconds. Every single one was better adapted for survival in almost every physical way. They had weapons built into their bodies. They had speed, strength, senses sharper than any human could imagine. So how did our ancestors survive even a single day in this nightmare world? How did they not go extinct in the first 100 years of their existence? The answer isn't what you think. It's not that early humans were smart enough to make better tools, though that would come later. It's not that they learned to use fire, though that was crucial. No, the skill that saved them was something else entirely. Something so fundamental that it existed before tools, before fire, before language as we know it. This skill is the foundation of everything that makes us human, and it started with something incredibly simple: the ability to look at another human and understand what they were thinking. The skill that changed everything. Here's what made humans different. Here's the secret weapon. We could cooperate at a level no other species could match. Not just cooperation in the basic sense. Plenty of animals work together. Ants build colonies. Wolves hunt in packs. Birds migrate in flocks. But human cooperation is different. It's deeper, more flexible, more powerful than anything else in nature. And it all comes down to one specific ability. We can imagine things that don't exist and convince other people to believe in them too. Think about what that means for a moment. A lion can't imagine tomorrow. A bear can't conceive of abstract concepts. A wolf can't believe in something it can't see or smell or touch. But humans can, and more importantly, humans can share these imagined concepts with other humans and get them to act on those shared beliefs. This is the skill. This is what saved us. The ability to create shared fictions, shared goals, shared understandings that allow massive groups of strangers to work together toward common purposes. Let me show you how this worked in practice. Imagine our ancestors spotting a mammoth, a creature weighing several tons, with massive tusks and thick skin that individual humans had no hope of bringing down alone. A group of chimpanzees, our closest genetic relatives, might try to hunt something together, but their cooperation is limited. They can't plan complex strategies. They can't assign roles based on individual strengths. They can't imagine the hunt before it happens and communicate that shared vision to others. But humans could. One early human could say or communicate through gestures and early language. Here's what we're going to do. You three will drive the mammoth toward that cliff. You two will be waiting with sharpened sticks. The rest of us will surround it from behind. And crucially, everyone in the group could understand and commit to this plan. They could imagine a future scenario that hadn't happened yet and coordinate their actions to make it real. That's the skill. That's what no other species could do at our level. But it goes even deeper. For this cooperation to work, humans needed something else. Something called theory of mind. This is the ability to understand that other people have thoughts, feelings, intentions, and knowledge that might be different from your own. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly sophisticated. When you can understand what another person is thinking, you can predict their behavior. You can negotiate, you can trade, you can form alliances, you can build trust. Cooperation versus raw power. Now let's put this in perspective. Let's compare what cooperation could achieve versus what raw physical power could achieve. Take the saber-toothed cat, magnificent predator, built for killing. Every part of its body was a weapon honed by millions of years of evolution. When a saber-toothed cat attacked, very few animals survived. It was a perfect killing machine. But here's the thing about being a perfect killing machine. You hunt alone or in very small groups. You can't share complex information with others of your species. Your cooperation is limited to instinct and basic social behaviors. So when a saber-toothed cat got injured, when it got old, when prey became scarce, it was on its own. There was no one to help it, no shared knowledge to fall back on. It either survived by its own strength or it died. Compare that to early humans. A human who got injured didn't die immediately. The group took care of them. A human who got old didn't starve. Younger members provided food. When prey was scarce in one area, the group could communicate about other locations where food might be found. Information flowed between individuals and across generations in ways that were impossible for solitary or semi-solitary predators. Let me give you a concrete example that really drives this home. Archaeological evidence shows that some early humans survived terrible injuries, broken bones, missing limbs, infected wounds that would have been death sentences for any other animal. But they survived. We know they survived because their bones healed, which means they lived weeks or months after the injury. How? Because other humans took care of them, fed them, protected them while they recovered. This is cooperation on a level that gave humans an evolutionary advantage that no amount of claws or fangs could match. And here's where it gets really interesting. This cooperation wasn't just about immediate survival. It was about accumulating knowledge across generations. A wolf that discovers a good hunting technique might pass it to its pups through observation. But that knowledge can easily be lost. Human knowledge compounds. A human discovers that certain plants are poisonous. They tell their children. Their children tell their children. The knowledge persists and grows. Someone else discovers that those same poisonous plants can be used to coat spear tips. Now you have weapons that are more lethal than any natural claw or fang. And that knowledge spreads not just through family lines, but across entire communities, entire regions, eventually across the species. The power of shared mythos. But the most powerful aspect of human cooperation isn't just practical, it's mythological. And I mean that in the most literal sense. Humans have the unique ability to believe in things that exist only in our collective imagination, and to organize massive societies around these shared beliefs. This is the ultimate expression of that core skill we've been talking about. Think about it this way. A chimpanzee can't believe in things it can't perceive directly. It can recognize other individual chimps in its group, maybe 30 or 40 individuals at most, but it can't conceive of belonging to a larger tribe of chimpanzees that exists beyond its immediate perception. It can't believe in abstract concepts like justice, or honor, or national identity. Humans can, and did. Early human groups began to organize themselves around shared stories, shared beliefs, shared identities that went beyond immediate kinship. You're not just part of the family you can see around the fire. You're part of the Bear Clan, or the River People, or whatever identity your group creates. And this means you can cooperate with strangers, people you've never met before, if they share that same identity, that same story about who they are. This is monumentally important. It means that human groups could grow far beyond the size that direct personal relationships could sustain. Other primates are limited by their social brain size. They can maintain relationships with maybe 150 individuals maximum. Humans broke through that barrier. We could have tribes of hundreds working together, eventually thousands, eventually millions, eventually billions, all because we could create and believe in shared fictions that bound us together. Let me give you an example from later in human history that perfectly illustrates this power. The Roman Empire at its height controlled territory from Britain to Mesopotamia, from the Rhine to the Sahara. Millions of people, speaking dozens of languages, from hundreds of different ethnic backgrounds, all cooperating as part of one massive society. How? Not because they all knew each other personally, not because they were all related by blood, but because they all believed in the shared fiction of being Roman. They believed in Roman law, Roman gods, Roman identity. These were imaginary concepts. You can't touch Romanness. You can't see it. It doesn't exist in physical reality. But millions of people believed in it. And that belief created the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. This ability to create and believe in shared fictions is the skill that allowed humans to build not just survival groups, but civilizations, cities, kingdoms, empires, trade networks spanning continents, systems of writing, mathematics, philosophy, art. None of this would be possible without the fundamental ability to cooperate based on shared imaginary concepts. Honor from prey to predator. Now let's trace how this skill transformed humans from prey animals into apex predators. Remember, 2 million years ago, we were on the menu. We were food for stronger, faster, deadlier creatures. Fast forward to today, and humans are the only species that has no natural predators. We've hunted multiple species to extinction. We've transformed entire ecosystems. We've reshaped the planet itself. How did that transformation happen? It started small. Early humans using cooperation to hunt more effectively, to defend against predators more successfully. Groups working together could bring down prey that individuals couldn't touch. Groups working together could drive predators away from kills, taking food that would otherwise be impossible to obtain. This gave early humans access to more protein, more calories, which fed larger brains, which enabled even more sophisticated cooperation. It was a feedback loop. As human brains grew and cooperation became more complex, we started making better tools. Not just sharpened sticks, but specialized implements designed for specific purposes. Cutting tools, scraping tools, hunting weapons that could kill from a distance, and critically, the knowledge of how to make these tools spread through communities via social learning. An innovation made by one clever individual could spread through an entire population within a generation. Then came fire. Controlling fire wasn't just about warmth or cooking food, though those were enormously important. Fire was a tool of transformation. It allowed humans to inhabit colder climates that other primates couldn't survive in. It provided protection at night when predators hunted. It could be used to modify the landscape, to drive game, to clear forests for easier hunting and gathering. And the knowledge of how to make and control fire spread through human populations because of our ability to teach, to communicate, to cooperate in ways other species couldn't. With each generation, the gap between humans and other species widened. We weren't getting stronger or faster. If anything, we were getting physically weaker as we relied more on tools and cooperation than on raw physical ability. But we were getting smarter, more organized, more capable of working together in larger groups toward common goals, and that made us unstoppable. By the time Homo sapiens emerged about 300,000 years ago, we had refined the skill of cooperation to an art form. We had complex language that allowed us to share detailed information, tell stories, plan for the future, warn about dangers. We had social structures that could organize hundreds or thousands of individuals. We had accumulated knowledge spanning thousands of years of human experience. We were no longer prey. We were the most dangerous predators on Earth. The Great Extinction. Here's where the story gets dark. Once humans reached a certain level of cooperative ability, we became too successful. As Homo sapiens spread out of Africa and across the globe, something remarkable and terrible happened. Everywhere we went, large animals started going extinct. This wasn't coincidence. This was the result of human hunting, human landscape modification, human impact on ecosystems. The woolly mammoth, which had survived multiple ice ages over hundreds of thousands of years, went extinct shortly after humans arrived in their territories. The giant ground sloths of the Americas, massive creatures weighing several tons, disappeared after human hunters reached the continent. Cave bears in Europe, dire wolves in North America, giant wombats in Australia. The pattern repeated across every continent humans colonized. Within a few thousand years of human arrival, the megafauna was gone. Why? Because these large animals had never encountered anything like humans before. They had no evolutionary adaptations for dealing with highly intelligent, highly cooperative persistence hunters who could track them for days, set complex traps, coordinate attacks from multiple directions, and pass hunting strategies down through generations. The cooperation that saved weak, vulnerable early humans eventually became the weapon that made us one of the most destructive forces in Earth's history. Think about what this means. The saber-toothed cat, with all its natural weapons, is extinct. The dire wolf, perfectly adapted for pack hunting, is extinct. The cave bear, powerful and fearsome, is extinct. But humans, weak and slow and defenseless by comparison, are not only alive but have populations in the billions. We've conquered every climate zone on the planet. We've been to the moon. We've split the atom. We've sequenced the genome. All because of one skill, the ability to cooperate at a scale and complexity that no other species can match. Cooperation in the modern world. Now let's bring this forward to today, because this skill didn't stop being important when we left the caves. In fact, it's more important than ever. Every single thing about modern civilization is built on human cooperation. The device you're listening to this on, whether it's a phone, computer, or tablet, required the coordinated efforts of thousands of people to design, manufacture, and distribute. The electricity powering it comes from a grid maintained by thousands more. The internet connecting it to information involves millions of people maintaining infrastructure across the entire planet. Think about your daily life. The food you eat was grown by farmers, processed by workers, transported by drivers, sold by shopkeepers. The house you live in was designed by architects, built by construction workers, supplied with materials from dozens of different industries. The clothes you wear, the roads you walk on, the water coming out of your tap. Everything is the product of massive cooperative efforts involving thousands or millions of people you'll never meet, most of whom live in different countries and speak different languages. This is the same skill that saved our ancestors from extinction, just expressed at a scale that would be incomprehensible to them. We're still cooperating based on shared fictions. Money is a shared fiction. National identity is a shared fiction. Corporate structures are shared fictions. Laws are shared fictions. None of these things exist in physical reality, but we all believe in them. And that shared belief allows billions of people to coordinate their actions in ways that create the complex world we inhabit. But here's the thing that should make you think. This skill that saved us can also destroy us. Nuclear weapons exist because humans cooperated to build them. Climate change is accelerating because of the massive cooperative industrial efforts of human civilization. Inequality, conflict, environmental destruction, these are all results of human cooperation channeled in destructive directions. The same ability that allows us to build cities and cure diseases also allows us to build bombs and wage wars. The dark side of cooperation. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Cooperation within groups often means competition between groups. The skill that allows humans to work together also enables us to organize into tribes that see other tribes as enemies. Throughout history, some of the most horrific events, genocides, wars, ethnic cleansing, happened because large groups of humans cooperated in the service of destroying other groups of humans. This is the shadow side of our greatest skill. The same theory of mind that lets us understand and empathize with members of our own group can be switched off for outsiders. The same shared fictions that bind communities together, religion, nationality, ethnicity, can be used to dehumanize people who don't share those fictions. The same organizational abilities that build hospitals and schools can build concentration camps and weapons of mass destruction. Early humans used cooperation to survive against stronger predators. Modern humans often use cooperation to fight other humans. We've become so good at organizing violence that we're now capable of destroying our entire species, along with most life on Earth. The skill that saved us from extinction might also be the skill that causes our extinction. But here's the crucial point. It doesn't have to be that way, because the same flexibility that allows humans to cooperate for destructive purposes also allows us to cooperate for constructive ones. We're not locked into instinctive behaviors like other animals. We can choose what we cooperate toward. We can expand our circle of empathy. We can create new shared fictions that unite rather than divide. Why other species couldn't do it? Now you might be wondering, why couldn't other species develop this same skill? Why didn't some other animal learn to cooperate at the human level and dominate the planet instead? The answer is complicated, but it comes down to a few key factors. First, brain size matters, but not in the way you might think. It's not just about having a big brain. Elephants have bigger brains than humans. It's about having the right kind of brain with specific structures that support language, abstract thinking, and social cognition. Humans have unusually large prefrontal cortexes relative to body size, which supports planning and social reasoning. We have language centers that allow complex communication. We have mirror neurons that help us understand and imitate others. All of these had to evolve together. Second, humans have a uniquely long childhood compared to other animals. This extended period of dependency means young humans have years to learn from adults, to absorb cultural knowledge, to practice social skills. A lion cub is independent within a year or two. A human child needs care for over a decade, sometimes longer. This seems like a disadvantage, but it's actually crucial for transmitting complex knowledge and social norms across generations. Third, humans have physical adaptations that support cooperation. Our eyes have visible white sclera, which makes it easy to see where someone else is looking, helping with joint attention and shared focus. Our hands are capable of extremely fine motor control, allowing us to create complex tools and communicate through gesture. Our vocal anatomy allows for sophisticated speech. These physical traits might seem minor, but they're essential scaffolding for cooperative behavior. But perhaps most importantly, humans got lucky. Evolution doesn't have foresight. The traits that eventually allowed massive human cooperation weren't selected because they would lead to civilization. They evolved for immediate survival advantages in specific environments. The cognitive abilities, the social instincts, the communication skills, these emerged through random mutation and natural selection. And they just happened to combine in ways that created this explosive potential for cooperation. Other species didn't get the same lucky combination. Dolphins are intelligent and social, but lack hands to make tools. Ravens are clever problem solvers, but have small brains that limit their social complexity. Elephants have large brains and complex social structures, but lack vocal anatomy for language. Each species has remarkable abilities, but none have the exact combination that allows for human-level cooperation. So cooperation and consciousness. Here's something fascinating to consider. There's a growing theory in cognitive science that human consciousness itself, our subjective experience of being aware, of having an inner life, might be intimately connected to our social abilities. The theory goes something like this. To cooperate effectively, you need to understand that other people have minds like yours. To understand that other people have minds, you first need to be aware of your own mind. Self-awareness might have evolved as a tool for social cognition. Think about it. When you're planning something, you're essentially running simulations in your head. You imagine possible futures, consider different options, predict outcomes. But you're also imagining how other people will react, what they'll think, what they'll do. Your sense of self, your consciousness, might have evolved primarily as a tool for modeling other minds. You understand others by using yourself as a template. If this theory is correct, it means that human consciousness, that mysterious inner experience that philosophers have debated for thousands of years, is actually a byproduct of our cooperative abilities. The self-awareness that feels so fundamental to being human only exists because our ancestors needed to understand each other to survive. We became conscious because we needed to cooperate. This is mind-bending stuff. It suggests that the skill we're talking about, cooperation, isn't just something humans do. It's something we are. It's woven into the very fabric of our conscious experience. When you think about yourself, when you reflect on your own thoughts and feelings, you're using cognitive machinery that evolved primarily for understanding and working with other humans. The future of cooperation. So where does this leave us? We've traced the skill of cooperation from early humans barely surviving on the African savanna to modern civilization with billions of people coordinating actions across the entire planet. We've seen how this skill saved us from extinction, how it made us the dominant species on Earth, and how it now presents us with existential challenges and opportunities. The question now is, what comes next? We're living at a unique moment in human history. For the first time, we have the technology to connect every human being on the planet. We can communicate instantly across any distance. We can share information at the speed of light. We can coordinate actions on a truly global scale. The potential for cooperation has never been greater. But at the same time, we face challenges that require unprecedented levels of cooperation to solve. Climate change affects every nation and requires collective action. Pandemics spread globally in days and need coordinated responses. Nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, biotechnology. These technologies create risks that cross all borders and demand that humans work together in ways we never have before. Can we do it? Can we take the skill that saved our ancestors from extinction and scale it up to save our entire species and the planet we depend on? Or will the tribal instincts that worked for small groups, the tendency to cooperate with us against them, doom us when the challenges we face require everyone to be part of us? The answer depends on whether we can expand our shared fictions to encompass all of humanity. For most of history, humans cooperated within small groups, families, clans, tribes. Then we expanded to larger groups, cities, kingdoms, nations. Now we need to expand again, to see all humans as part of one cooperative group. We need shared fictions, shared stories about who we are and what we value, that include everyone. This isn't impossible. We've done it before, expanding our circles of cooperation over and over throughout history. But it's also not inevitable. It requires conscious choice, deliberate effort, and the same cognitive flexibility that allowed our ancestors to imagine new possibilities and convince others to believe in them. The skill that defines us as we come to the end of this journey through human evolution and the skill that saved us. I want you to think about something. Every time you work with someone else toward a common goal, every time you trust a stranger, every time you participate in society, you're using the exact same skill that kept our ancestors alive when they should have been eaten by saber-toothed cats. You're not stronger than a bear. You're not faster than a cheetah. You're not more venomous than a snake or better armed than a tiger. But you can cooperate. You can imagine shared goals, communicate complex ideas, coordinate with others, build on accumulated knowledge, and organize toward common purposes. That's your superpower. That's the one skill that makes you human. The saber-toothed cat had perfected the art of solo killing over millions of years of evolution. It was a magnificent, terrifying predator, but it went extinct. Early humans, weak and vulnerable and seemingly doomed, survived. Not because we were stronger, but because we were together. Because we could look at each other and see not just bodies, but minds. Not just individuals, but potential partners. Not just the present, but possible futures that we could create through working together. That skill saved us once. It saved us from predators that should have eaten us, from ice ages that should have frozen us, from droughts that should have starved us, from diseases that should have killed us. And now, in the modern world with all its complexity and danger and possibility, that same skill is what will determine whether humanity survives the challenges ahead. So the next time you work with someone, remember, you're not just completing a task. You're exercising the one skill that allowed weak, vulnerable primates to conquer a planet. You're using the ability that no other species has matched. You're being, in the most fundamental way possible, human. And that's why, despite everything, despite our violence, our conflicts, our capacity for destruction, I remain optimistic about our future. Because the same skill that saved us before is still there. The ability to imagine better futures and work together to create them. The capacity to expand our cooperation to include more and more people. The flexibility to create new shared stories that unite rather than divide. We outlived stronger species not by becoming stronger, but by becoming us. By learning to see the world not just through our own eyes, but through each other's eyes. By building something that no claws or fangs could ever match. A collective intelligence greater than any individual mind. By turning weakness into strength through the simple, profound act of working together. That's the one skill. That's what saved us. And if we can remember it, nurture it, and expand it to include all of humanity, it might just save us again.